Yeah, this is what the young kids are really into. Like most notably the Gen Alpha, little 5 and 6 year old kids with the connected devices. I kind of get a good glimpse of it because I have a little 5 year old daughter and a little 6 year old cousin. They're kind of hip to it and put me up on game. So that's kind of what I've noticed they've been most interested in as of late. And I'll be 100% honest, I'm kind of digging these characters too. I kind of catch myself playing the game and I guess keeping up with the culture or whatever. Let me share a little bit about these different characters, kind of give you a perspective as a parent. All right, first up, we have Skibidi Toilet. I know, right? Fucking weird. It's kind of set in a dystopian future, kind of progresses from this epic battle between the toilets themselves and the closed caption TV recordings. They have like cameras, they have screens, they have speaker boxes. Kind of see them do this little Fortnite dance. They kind of just go back and forth, upgrading their gear over time, and it's just mega war. Sometimes it's on a smaller scale. Sometimes it kind of gets on the level of like some King Kong versus Godzilla. A lot of the times, the videos themselves kind of bring you into the experience, kind of like you're like a first-person shooter. Definitely kind of gives the vibe of like being in Cloverfield, the movie. It kind of has these graphics where like, kind of seems like some shit you would have saw on PlayStation back in the day. Some of the battles are pretty sick. Obviously, it's pretty popular, as you can see. I mean, literally, people are saying that this Skibidi shit is the biggest meme of all time. Super popular. You could kind of binge watch the whole series. I think it's about 70 episodes, and you kind of run through it in like an hour or two. My favorite part about this channel or whatever is just kind of like the theme song, which kind of reminds me of that Nelly Furtado, Justin Timberlake, Timberland hit they had back in the day. It's honestly quite a banger. Next one that my daughter's kind of been a big fan of lately is Five Nights at Freddy's. Obviously gained a lot more popularity with the new movie that just came out. Five Nights dates back to like 2004. It's had many games and books, and obviously the movie just came out. I think there's about 5 different games or so. It's kind of like a horror-based video game, kind of like a survival. You kind of are set in takes place in this restaurant, and you're the security guard, and you got to survive the night. And you have like these gadgets. You use your cameras, the switches, the speakers, the lights, the music. Kind of get to pretend you're a animatronic itself with the mask and all that good stuff. The security guard at the pizzeria has to survive. The pizzeria itself has had like a series of unfortunate events in its day, and these animatronics actually come alive in the night. They're actually possessed by the spirits of the ones who passed in tragedies, mainly kids. It really has like a Chuck E. Cheese vibe. I don't know if you ever went when you were a kid, but those animatronics they have are pretty fucking scary. All right, next up, you got this creepy shit, Poppy Playtime, which is another survival-based horror game. This one's a little more free roam, kind of like a first-person shooter experience, but definitely somewhat similarities with Five Nights at Freddy's. In this story, you kind of get to experience a former employee of the toy company who revisits the factory after receiving a letter from employees suddenly 10 years after the disappearance of everybody. At the factory, these toys do become alive and turn pretty malicious. And you kind of got to use these tools and these gadgets to survive the horror. And you're kind of looking for clues as to find out where the employees went. All right, most recently, it's probably the newest flavor of the month. You got The Amazing Digital Circus, which is a YouTube animation about a girl who gets trapped in a digital world after putting on a VR headset. Once she encounters this virtual world and realizes that it's not a dream, that she's actually stuck in this digital environment, she realizes that there's other characters in this world who have had similar experiences, but end up accepting their fate. All these series just mentioned, they all have this like thing in common where they're all kind of like fun and cute, innocent looking characters, but it's not all fun and games when you actually kind of pay attention to the storyline and themes behind these cartoons and characters. Obviously, the Skibidi toilet, kind of creepy, disgusting visuals. Kind of got kids emulating his mannerisms, which is kind of funny. I think they call it Skibidi syndrome. To be honest, though, this one's kind of innocent. I don't think there's nothing really sinister behind this one. To be honest, my auntie was like, fuck no, we're not watching this shit. But once I started watching it, I was like, it's kind of funny. Like, you kind of have these big transformer epic battles, and some of the action sequences are actually pretty cool. So I've kind of changed my tune on Skibidi Toilet. Yeah, no problems with that one. However, the Poppy Playtime and Five Nights at Freddy's, those like horror video game series, they have a lot of dark elements in the story, ranging from like murder of children and kids going missing, and lots of like fright and terror elements. Definitely pretty intense stuff for young kids. I could definitely see some kids having some pretty shitty nightmares because of it. The Digital Circus one, it's got a lot of like mental health issues kind of baked in. This girl has tons of anxiety, claustrophobia, trauma, just weird facial expressions that kind of express pain. And it's a trip because all of these like dark elements I just mentioned kind of lie behind these like colorful visuals and catchy names and quirky little theme songs. That Digital Circus kind of feels like a Black Mirror episode, but for kids. You know what I mean? A lot of these things look like they're made for like little children, but they're actually made for teenagers, which kind of caught me off guard because, I kind of see it. My daughter's watching it and I'm like, oh, cool. Like whatever. And then once I start following the theme and the storyline, I'm like, damn, man, this shit is actually, for big kids. So something that parents definitely need to be aware of. I kind of found out, just because I pay attention. If I didn't pay attention, I probably wouldn't notice this. I think that's mostly what I want to convey is that, parents should just really be in tune with what their kids are watching. Obviously, it could be a challenge. Some parents are overworked and working double shifts and just too tired to really pay attention. Some parents have a language barrier, maybe it's immigrants or whatever, grandparents don't understand what's being said in these shows. Some parents are old and just not aware. And then you got other parents that are probably just on TikTok scrolling away, not paying attention to their kids or what they consume themselves. I just kind of see like in the future some weirdo doing some sinister shit, like, I don't know, making a game about whatever creepy dark element, but it's kind of like repackaged as like a, something that kids will watch on Coco Melon. And, next thing you know, you got 2-year-old kids binge watching this, just sick, twisted material. And the parents are completely unaware of it because they see something and it's like, oh, he's watching Coco Melon. I just feel like it's kind of pushing the boundaries of like what's allowed and what can be and what they could get away with. And obviously somebody's going to take advantage of that and do something that they probably shouldn't do. I could be overreacting. Honestly, when I was a kid, I used to watch Faces of Death, and I guess I came out okay. It's not all negative, however. There's definitely been some positives that come out with these series. Like these characters, they've sparked like a genuine interest in my daughter. And I would say like her creativity and just like we have conversations about these characters and she's kind of like really paying attention to the world. And, from the different, she knows Kissy Missy and Poppy Playtime. And, she's highly aware of these things. So I think it's definitely allowed her to have an interest in something, which is good. We kind of draw these characters, we'll buy little toys, we'll speak about little themes of the story. Her drawings are really well thought out. She knows the nuances and the colors and the little accessories that some of the characters have. She's got me drawing, and it's kind of cute, man. I'd say we probably connected a little bit over this. Just little plushies that we're kind of able to purchase, and she's got little shirts that we'll find randomly at like the market. I think the other day we walked into 7-Eleven and like Five Nights at Freddy's had like little keychains, and I bought that stuff for her. And we'll be in the car and I'll play that Skibidi theme song and she's rocking out to it. And there is some very fun elements and things that have kind of come out of this. However, I probably won't let her play Poppy Playtime anytime soon. Definitely no Five Nights at Freddy's. And I probably have her not watch that digital circus. I feel like sometimes, obviously, life imitates art, and you kind of see this cute little character online, and they're full of anxiety and fear and worry, and kids imitate stuff. And the last thing I want is my daughter to be acting a little all cuckoo for no reason, just because the character she likes is doing it. But this is what's hot. This is what the little ones are into. Little Gen Alpha or whatever. They're definitely the future. Just pay attention to what they consume, and obviously ourselves. Even adults probably consuming way more than they should. So if you got kids, just pay attention to the little creepy things that they're watching on TV, on the internet. Another few notable mentions that I forgot would be Garden of Banban, Choo Choo Charles, and Rainbow Friend. I really enjoyed making this video. My channel is just going to focus on like nerdy shit. So cartoons, comics, sci-fi movies, games, gadgets. But I think I would love to make like a little random video once a month, kind of highlighting whatever my daughter's into, because she's kind of a little nerd too herself. So yeah, looking forward to the next one. I'm glad my video popped up on your screen, and hopefully my next one will pop up in your feed.